Yo, what is going on, everybody, and welcome to the RMR Group A and Group B for the IEM Road to Rio. We have how many games are there?
16
16?
for the European, and
Yeah.
then NA starts tomorrow with I think 8 of its own
Okay,
or 4 of its own.
gotcha. So 16. So we'll get right into it since there is 16 games. I am joined by Mateo and no Tyler today. Bad News Eagles play Eternal Fire.
What up? Yeah.
This
Oh,
one is
yeah.
a tour
We're split.
between me and
We're split.
Mateo.
We're split. This is where we need Tyler in these
I
situations.
know this is exactly
We're
why we need.
we're a
But
split board here. I do think B&E have a good chance of making the major. Um, that being said, I'm still siding with Eternal Fire here. The reason B&E have a good chance of making the major is because it is all best of one play until the elimination and qualification match. I do know they do struggle in best of threes for sure. Their map pool, I would hope they've worked on it since the last major. They've been pretty quiet since the last major, which concerns me.
yeah, they have,
They don't like compared to other teams, they have not played many officials. So
and it's a new
potentially,
roster with Maher and Paz, right?
well, I'm talking about B&E.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, B&E haven't played many officials.
No, they've been what's it called? Playing a whole bunch of tier two, especially
Yeah.
to play.
Even then, yeah, they don't there's like a week in between all their games and
Mm-hmm.
shit. Like or like sometimes there's just like 3 weeks in between and then they play like one random little tournament here and there. So hopefully they've been working on their map pool and stuff like that. Like I said, I think they have a good chance still. They're definitely a solid team. Um I just favor Eternal Fire a little bit. Eternal Fire definitely got an upgrade, I think, from Xcloud and Calyx actually with Major and Paz. Major's been playing really well. Paz not so much yet, but I mean, he's a previous, major player himself, all that kind of stuff. So just give him a little more time on the line and to get a little more comfortable, and he should be back to form pretty soon. Yeah, I slightly favor E-Fire here. It's like a slightly weighted coin flip to me, which I'm pretty sure this game is mostly considered by like 99% of people, yet 99% of people side with B&E by just a little bit, I think.
Yeah,
But
they're more. They're the reason I favor B&E in this game is because they just are a hype team. When it comes to
mhm.
the RMR, they look good right now. Even with the little games they played, Rigon is still absolutely cracked. I think him versus Antares is going to be an insane matchup tomorrow. Woxic versus GXX, on the other hand, I think Woxic will kind of destroy him.
Yeah, GXX. I think that's one of the biggest things that we realized with B&E at their last major run and stuff like that. They don't have like an insane opera. You know what I mean? Like he's nothing crazy really.
No, he's good, but he's
He's
not
he's he's good
insane.
enough. Yeah, he's good enough. But when you like, it feels like almost every tier two, even especially tier one teams, their operas are just like they have a standout opera. Almost every single team has a standout opera at this point,
Exactly.
and so maybe that's one of the things they're missing a little bit. But yeah, I'd say that this game's basically a 50-50. I kind of side with E-Fire a little bit. Most people, including betting odds, side with B&E a little bit. I wouldn't suggest betting on this game unless you're
I
a
do
fan
not.
of either of the teams. Like if you just want to bet on one of them, and cheer them on or whatever. But I'd say stay away from this game, honestly. Keep it away from your parlays. It's too dangerous.
You know,
You
I love me
just
some one Flachu.
yeah, exactly. It'll probably be a really good game to watch. I mean, it could be like a
Oh,
Dust 2,
it will
like a banger Dust 2 or
absolutely be a
something like that.
rematch on those two, I think.
Yeah, that would be cool.
All right, so I say B and E, you say E Fire. I'm gonna ask
Yep.
Tyler later what he's gonna say. Um, Sprout versus Fours. Sprout is one of my favorite teams to watch right now. Zyphon is from Copenhagen Flames. Refresh is the best player from Heroic. I don't know why they let him go. Even though they got Yabby.
Hmm.
Lon X is one of the best upcoming players right now. He was in talks with Ents. Staher's really good, and Slacks is a pretty good opper. Like this team is really good. However,
I think it's a
fours,
very
it's just like fours is so weird when it comes to the RMRs. They always seem to make it, and it's games like this where they seem to clinch it out.
mhm, definitely. It's just that CIS power, man, really. Same thing with
Exactly.
teams like Spirit and stuff like that. For some reason at the majors, they for teams like Fours and Spirit and stuff like that struggle at every other tournaments. They struggle qualifying to tournaments even. Like you that's why you don't see them at many fucking higher tier events, like the other tournaments that aren't majors, like the random like Katowices or Colognes or stuff like that that aren't majors, is because they almost never qualify for them. But for some reason, when it comes to majors, the CIS teams just always have a. I don't really even want to call it an overperformance because like that's their ceiling really. Like so they just always perform major wise. So that does make it a little scary. That being said, the Force is also a team that I haven't seen play too much. I've been seeing Sprout play a lot
hmm
um recently. I haven't seen Force play too much. I'm pretty sure they just beat OG in a best of three
They
though.
did, yes. They beat
Yeah.
OG, Into Breach, Finest, and then Los Cogutos. Cogutut. I can't say it.
So that is definitely something to take into account coming up. If Sprout does have a lot of younger players, not Refresh and Zyphon do have major experience. I don't. I know the rest of the three of them don't. But I believe they were at the last RMR at least, so they do
I
have
believe
that kind
so.
of experience. But major wise, this is probably their first time in the circuit. They may have been at the last RMR, and even then, I think one or two of the players, I think Longs, Stare, and Slacks, maybe one or two of them
Yeah,
weren't
I
even
think
on the
this
team at
might have
that
been
point.
Lonks'
Yeah,
first one, and
yeah,
then
so they are pretty young going into it. Forzy is pretty young too, but they had a decent run at the last major with this exact lineup.
exactly, yeah.
Um, so the it is definitely an interesting game. It looks like odds wise, it's literally the exact same as E-Fire B and E,
50-50?
but pretty much, but the slight favor is going to fours.
Ooh.
So I'd
So,
say this is also a scary game and really not. No one's like a clear favorite here. I would favor Sprout, and I think Alec would as well.
yep.
So that being said, like this game, much like the last is like a 50-50. Don't put it in like parlays or anything. Maybe just stay away from it in general.
Unless it goes to Ancient for some reason, Ancient would be like 100%. I think Sprout win that,
Yeah, for sure.
especially if they start CT side.
Yeah. I mean, I think that does benefit Sprout a little bit. They don't really have a permaban either. Like fours permabans Vertigo.
Mm-hmm.
So Sprout doesn't really have a permaban, which,
No, it'll
can
ban Nuke, it'll ban Inferno.
yeah, for sure. So I'd say if you had to bet on a team, I'd probably bet on Sprout in this situation though. But again, it's not the greatest game. I'm sure there's better games when we get down to them.
Yeah,
So most likely just not that.
I
But I'm
think
still taking Sprout.
I will take Sprout, but if it goes to Mirage, I think Fours win it. If it goes to Ancient, I think Sprout win it. If it somehow gets to Dust 2, I also see Fours winning that. I see him kind of stomping him. So
Hmm.
it's really map pool for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Due to Ecstatic, the boys. Ecstatic led by Manx and Dafu.
Hmm.
Back with a new team. They lost three of their players. Fasher, the notable one, went to Fnatic, which is my favorite player that went or from Ecstatic. So I was happy with that. And these guys, I believe, are from fuck. What was it from? I don't want to say Masonic. I don't remember where Cabby's from. But they've been playing all right. They've won a few games in a row. Losing to Saul was all right because Saul's pretty good right now, and I think they have a chance to go pretty far. But saying that they go against who you believe is the number one team in the world right now, and I kind of have to join you on that.
Hmm.
If if they continue to frag out and Nico playing like how he is right now, this should be a 16-5 max for them,
Yeah.
no matter what map it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think G2 is literally one of the favorites coming into this whole major, not just the RMR to make it out. So I genuinely don't see if this game even gets relatively close, that's very concerning for me.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not even like a G2 fan or anything, but I truly don't see how this team it doesn't at least make semifinals this major. Like if they don't make semifinal, I know it's their first majors, this lineup, blah blah blah, stuff like that. This roster is just so stacked that I don't think they have any excuses really to at least not make semifinals. I think they're going clean 3-0, maybe 3-1, depending on what draw they get on the 3-0 or the
Hmm.
2-0 match kind of thing. They should just make it out no matter what. They should probably get a legend spot.
They might not even
Um,
lose a map, honestly.
yeah, exactly. They should probably get a legend spot straight in this RMR, which I think means you have to go 3-0 or 3-1 or something like that, and then play maybe like a tiebreaker match. Yeah, I maybe ecstatic, depending on their matchup, might be able to pull off an upset or two here or there, or maybe even like a B tier team because they're probably considered maybe like a tier three team. Honestly, ecstatic. I would have
Yeah.
to imagine. So maybe they can pull one off against maybe like one of the tier two teams that gets caught in like an 0-1 or 1-1 match or something like
For
that. But
example,
this
Saw or
match,
Spirit.
yeah, Saw, Spirit, even Fnatic, maybe,
Yeah, I can see that.
someone like them, they might have a better chance. But I don't see a reasonable thing is to unless they win like both pistols, maybe they get like 8 or 9 rounds. But other than that, I just yeah, I don't see much there.
If anything, like I wouldn't even bet like plus
Mm-mm.
15 rounds or plus 8
Hmm.
rounds.
Yeah,
Like anything like that. It's just these guys should just stomp.
yeah.
Cloud9 bait.
Funny enough, I think Alec might disagree with me on this one, but this was one of the ones that I had down for maybe a potential
Yes,
upset.
this was
I was
weird
gonna put
for me because I was like, bait ain't no chance. Ain't no chance.
it just seems I don't know, like in the past, um, you just see it so often. For some reason, this just seems like a C9 pick like Dust 2 for no reason and the game gets way closer than it should be.
That is true.
I don't know. That's just the kind of vibe I'm getting from this game right now.
So on this one,
But
you could probably bet the plus 8.5, plus 6.5,
I think Bait actually get around 10 rounds here, so I'm sure they
especially if it
have
goes
decent
D2.
yeah, I'm sure they have decent odds for like an 8 handicap or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a potential. That being said, C9 did just come off of a semifinals. They looked really hot. Like C9 is that's the thing about C9 though, is like they look really good and then they go like 1-3 in a major, losing to Imperial, like getting shit on by Imperial. So they're such an they used to be very consistent, but now they're kind of one of the most unpredictable teams, honestly, in the top 5 or top 10 for me.
Yeah, no, I
Ever
agree
since they
with you.
became C9.
The only thing is, um, it's all depending on how Axel and Shiro obviously are playing. But even then, they're doing pretty damn good. Like I see them going to semifinals again here.
Yeah, I expect a top 8 from this team for sure.
I expect top four if that. Like this
I
team is to me, I can see them winning this major this year.
I can't too. I can't too for sure.
This is one of my teams that I really like. So it was hard for me to say Bait can win a couple rounds.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. But I don't see him. I don't see him top 4 or even major. I think I mean they did just beat FaZe, but I
Hmm.
think they also lost to Liquid. So
Liquid are number one.
are they ranked number 1 right now?
No, no, they're probably two or three. All right. So FaZe Gamer Legion. I like this team. A core baby.
Yeah.
I this is one of my
Three
least favorite players from Mouse, and he's on Gamer Legion with one of my favorite Mouse NXT players.
NXT players. Yeah.
Ooh, like this guy. Like if everyone got a chance, why not this guy, man? He went to Gamer Legion. Uh
I mean, here he is.
against number
It,
one team in the
like
world.
the other Miles NXT players that didn't get pulled up didn't make it. So I mean, at least he's somewhere. He's at the
Yeah,
RMR. Fair enough.
that's true.
So he kind of went in the right
I
direction, I guess.
am really a fan of this game actually, and I might throw something on this myself because
Um,
oh
it's
my
just one of those.
it's just FaZe looks so bad against Complexity. I know Complexity looks so good.
I disagree. I think Complexity just looked really good. I don't. I understand that when your team
If they
is
want a
Robs,
pistol,
then yeah,
Complexity
Complexity wins that series.
stomp the
But like, I
series.
think I know that it's hard to say this when your team is literally Twist, Robs, Brokey, Rain,
Mm,
but honestly, Grim just shit on them. Like, there's
yeah,
nothing
that's
like
also true.
like it. They might not have even looked bad. So
I still think
I
Gamer
just
Legion have a chance in this
think that
game.
Grim is capable of doing that, and he just kind of did, and eventually he wasn't
Finally.
able to anymore. Yeah, and then FaZe was ending up able to pull it through. So I don't even think FaZe looked bad against Cole.
Okay.
Like Grim just looked nasty.
You think so? You don't think Gamer Legion have a chance at all?
Not really. Um, I mean, FaZe is a team that's probably comfortable going anywhere, really. So I think Gamer Legion would benefit from maybe taking this to a Mirage. The thing to me is like teams like Gamer Legion and stuff like that will probably feel like this happens a lot with like tier 2 teams. They feel like to win against a team like FaZe, they have to do some wacky shit and like try to take them to like Nuke or Ancient or something like that. And
Yeah.
then FaZe just gets to start CT side because they're the higher seed, and then Gamer Legion will get like 2 rounds on T side of Nuke or
That's
Ancient or
is
something
that
like
how it
that.
works? They get
I'm pretty sure the higher seed gets
oh, then in that case.
starting side. I'm 99% sure. So
Okay.
to me, I think the tier 2 teams really should put more work into like at least in this sense for like trying to make these events, especially a best of one round robin format. The only maps they really need to be focusing on are like Mirage, Inferno, Overpass, Dust 2, like that kind of thing. I think a lot of them think to win they have to take teams that are way better than them to like Nuke or Vertigo or Ancient, like those little bit weirder maps. But like they almost always get shit on because of that. So I think their best chance is definitely on like a Mirage or something like that. So I would hope to see that's where they go.
I would love it for it to go Mirage. Though Phases Ancient looks so bad.
That is true.
Spirit one win. Ooh, my favorite game of the day.
This is probably a pretty good game. I think all things considered, one win have some okay odds here for sure.
Yes, they do, and the addition to Lollipop helped them so much. They were stomping everyone into.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Deco to me is the next Dexter,
You think so?
next simple type thing. Yeah, he's pretty freaking good. Flamey's really the worst player on the team,
Yeah. But
and
he brings something
he
that
brings the
not a lot of other
experience which
players they
is
can
needed
grab right
here.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. There's not a lot of other players they can get from that kind of region that has what he has, which is 10 probably 10 plus majors if not, and
yeah.
everything else. So
Uh,
major grand finals twice. I mean, he probably isn't needed to be the fragger he is anymore or he
No, he's
was like
not.
6 years ago.
He's
So,
needed for this exact reason for the major baby.
mhm.
And I really think Spirit, if they really wanted to continue to be good without Dexter, I think they should have got Deco.
Hmm.
Like, this guy is ridiculous. I hope he shows it tomorrow. I hope he's like the number one
Hmm.
player in like the tournament. Because I really like this. I think this is like a 50-50 game, and it shouldn't be favored that highly for Spirit.
I think it should, but I do think that one would have some good potential here.
I just don't think Spirit are good at all.
I haven't thought they were good at all for two majors now, but I mean, they just have that in them, you know. And Magic's, as much as I hate him on any given day, can play really well. Patsy plays pretty well. Honestly, wonderful. All memes aside from him joining, he's not looked terrible at all.
He's just not as good as Deco.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Deco's better. I hope it goes to something like Dust 2. And Spirit have 0% win rate, but they liked it in the past.
Hmm.
If it goes to a nuke, it would be cool. If it goes to a Vertigo, it would be cool. I feel like Spirit would win Ancient. Who you
Yeah.
got for this game? One win?
Um, Predictions wise, I'm gonna go with Spirit, but I think one would have good odds for sure.
Tyler also agrees one.
Oh, did you ask him?
Yeah.
What did he say for the first games?
He said Eternal Fire, Sprout.
Okay. And then G2, obviously. And then C9, obviously. And then
Yeah.
Phase, obviously. Okay. So he's with me on E-Fire.
Yeah,
He
exactly. This
does
is the
he
one.
does that sometimes though. He kind of he likes to dick ride me and I love it.
Next game, Nip Astralis.
I
This
think
is probably the best game of the day, right?
this is gonna be one of the most entertaining games to watch, I would have to say.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you I side with Astralis, which I don't think you do. Or maybe you do, I don't know. But
I
I know odds don't,
I
so
don't because config's not there, and config was finally coming alive.
that is one of the key factors for sure. Yeah, but
Well,
they also you see Nip up there also has this guy named Alexi B.
I would be just curious on who's calling.
It is Alexi.
It is?
I'm 99% sure.
Well, in that case, that
If it is
makes
not if it is not Alexi, then Nip is actually just trolling. I've there's literally nothing else I can say about that. There's no reason to ever hire Alexi B as not an IGL, and even if honestly, there's almost no reason to even hire him as an IGL.
no. There's no reason to bring him in with Hampus. Like this is why.
Hampus
So
is a better IGL and a better
no, but
fragger.
this is what I
So
think. This is what I think is gonna happen. Hampus is gonna become that actual insane lurk and don't have to worry about that rotate or calling bullshit. He can just fucking frag out now, and he is gonna actually become an insane player.
yeah,
That's option A. The other option is this team's just gonna be complete ass. It like
yeah,
it has Alexi B and Essa tag.
yeah. I mean, in all honesty, I know we give Estetag a lot of shit. I mean, he looks good on an op, which isn't hard for most players, to be fair.
It's a
So, like,
baby
it's
gun
not giving
after
him the
all.
biggest praise, but he has a place on the team as an opper. Whereas when he wasn't opping, he looked pretty useless. I'll be
Yep.
honest. But like, he's actually fit in relatively well as an
He's
opper.
better than
So
Fuzi. He's better
yeah,
than
exactly. He's
all
definitely
those
better than
guys.
Fuzi, so I'll give him that at least as an opper. He looks like he belongs on the team and stuff like that. When someone else was opping, he looked lost. Like he looked like he wasn't on the same team as everyone else. So as much shit as we like to give to S Attack, I feel like he has a place in this team.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not the place that he thought he was going to, or most people thought he was going to have, but like he actually does have a place on the team now. Yeah, to me, if Alexibi isn't coming on the team to be the IGL and letting Hampus do his thing, because honestly, Hampus is more consistent than Rez and Brolin, who are supposed to be the
Mm-hmm.
stars of NIP. He's literally more consistent than both of them. I think Rez and Brolin have way higher potential. Like they will have games where they're like 20 and 5 and just one tapping everybody. But Hampus is consistent. Like he'll consistently find holes in defenses and get openings and shit like that. Whereas Rez, just as much as you see him 20-5, you see him 3-9 or something like that in a game at any given time. So
Exactly. Just
giving Hampus,
so
yeah.
inconsistent.
So is Brolin, I think. I think he's a little higher
I'm
on the
hoping
good
Alexi
side.
B can just find a way to get him involved.
Yeah.
I know he couldn't
Yeah.
with G2, so like, how
Which
can he
is
do it with
surprising.
NIP?
Yeah. Maybe the team chemistry will just be a little better because he's definitely not working with as good of pieces as he had before.
The only other
So
problem I have with it is, are they going to speak English? Because Esatag was
they are,
speaking
yeah.
Swedish. That's crazy to me. That's going to be tough too. I mean, I know it's not that big of a gap. I know they
Yeah.
probably
I
all
mean, almost every single European country speaks English, but
exactly
it is a difference when you have
been speaking it the whole
speaking
time.
your native language. Yeah, for sure. It can definitely change.
It's probably a 1.6 or a 1.7 for NIP, right?
Nope.
Higher?
Yep.
50
Or
50?
no. No.
There's no way it's like a 1.5.
That's what it was before. Let me double check.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no, they let me check Thunder
I
Pick.
know it's with a Mister, but Mr. the
I pulled
Fister.
up Empire just off instinct, but
Eh,
I know Thunder Pick had some different odds from what I've been seeing on Empire so far. So no, Nip have a 1.6. Yeah,
1 point.
yeah.
That seems about. You favor Stralis, I favor Nip. Tyler favors Stralis. Crazy. Tyler really be writing. My favorite boys versus Mateo's. What would you call them?
um, they might be the potential upset qualifiers. I think.
I just, if Fnatic lose this game, I believe in Aurora, and if Fnatic lose the second game, then I just give up on them. But if they lose the second or the first game, I'll give them a chance.
I really hope Fnatic make it. I really do.
Dude, I
But
love this
they're
team.
they're one of the teams that I can see faltering to a team perfectly like this. Like
Yeah,
um I really do like Fnatic a lot as well, and I really do hope they make it. And if Aurora don't win this match, even if it's a stomp by Fnatic, I still think that Aurora have the pieces necessary to win a couple games off teams they're not supposed to. Not necessarily maybe even qualify, but they're definitely a team that is a team that can win some games for sure. I
yeah.
mean, you have Lackey. He's a ex Entropy player. He's played at a major or two before. Um, I think the biggest piece to me is you have a lot of um, aimers from this team was just recently put together, like right before the
Mm,
RMR, and you have a lot of quote unquote superstars from like tier 3, tier 4 CIS teams mixed in with someone experienced like Lackey. And the biggest thing for me is their coach is Starix. I think that's one of the biggest things, and I give Starks a lot of credit for his, like career. Personally, he's one of my favorite IGL coaches. He's like old school, like 2016, 2015 when I started. He was coaching Navi at the time. He went back to playing for a little bit and then has been pretty quiet since, I think.
mm-hmm.
Um, but to me, I respect that guy a lot. And so if you get a lot of these younger players, it just depends on me what Starks is still capable of and how serious he's taking this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Because Sugar was one of the guys actually. I don't know if you remember last major, but there was a team at the RMR that was just a random CIS team of a bunch of like random people, and that was the team that I said had a good chance
He was
of
on it.
winning, and they ended up going 0-3, but he was on that team. Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
like him. I think he's a good player. And then you have a couple other players like that too. So yeah, I hope Fnatic win this game honestly, and I hope they qualify for sure. but I did like Aurora going into this before the matchups were decided, so and Fnatic is pretty much the perfect team that I had put down for Aurora potentially being able to beat, like that caliber of team.
I think you called that game.
So yeah, so it would I think who I'm actually gonna go. I think in general Aurora have good odds of a 3.4 for like a little bit of a potential upset. Yeah, like for sure. I think odds wise, they definitely are gonna have good odds to upset some teams for sure. But that being said, this game for teams I think will actually win. I'm gonna go with Fnatic.
Are you
I'm
gonna
gonna go.
switch?
I will go with Fnatic, but I do think Aurora are gonna take a team or two down.
I'm also gonna take Fnatic, and Tyler's also gonna take Aurora.
Is he going with Aurora?
He took Aurora.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Fair enough. See, he was like, "Oh, Mateo likes Aurora. I'm gonna put it."
Doesn't even know who's on the team, man. I would be so upset if Fnatic lost the opening match to
Yeah.
this team, but I can see him losing it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. I was like, "What do you mean switch?" But then I realized that I sent a picture of all the circled things
Yeah,
or whatever, huh?
yeah.
Ah, see, that's the thing is Tyler copied me.
Gotta
Yeah,
switch it.
I do definitely think. No, I'm gonna go with Fnatic still, but I do think, like, if I was betting on the armor, I would definitely bet on them for sure. But bro, there's just too many fucking games going on at once,
There's so
and it's
many
not
games
at a good
today.
time of day.
No,
Yeah,
it's not.
like I just think I'll wait till the major, honestly. There's too much going on.
You're not gonna touch any of the games.
Unless there's like something crazy, which I don't really see on day one at least.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Not yet.
All right, can we skip this game because I honestly think don't.
Yeah, this is a snooze fest. To me, Vitality not only look like one of the strongest top teams going into this, they also got one of the least upset potential draws. So
Yep.
I just think there's no chance really.
Yeah. No chance bet wise because odds are so
I mean, look at how
outsiders
many
and
you go back though, just look at how many matches fantasy has. Like you can't even see like
oh
what
my.
map they're gonna try to go for, like anything like that. You know what I mean? They literally have the 3 wins from that, and that's it. They don't have a single match together other than that. So it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, cool for them for making it here, but at least against Vitality, I don't see a chance because chances are Vitality can just ban whatever they want. They can ban Ancient, they can ban Nuke, they can ban Vertigo, and honestly, Vitality will take any team in the world on Dust 2, Mirage, Inferno, or Overpass. So yeah, I don't really see much there.
Tyler also.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right, my upset game of the
Yeah,
day.
this is yours. Of course, we have opposite teams.
um, Fester, if I'm not mistaken, actually played on Astralis before.
He was
Was
one of the
from
yeah,
Astralis
the
talent.
main town or the main he did play on the main roster for a little bit. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
Red Star is one of my favorite
I do like this team though. What
favorite
Red
favorite
Star?
players, and
Wait,
then
where's Boros?
he couldn't make it actually, or was he
Uh,
not? No, no, it was. Was he on this team?
I'm 99% sure Boros is supposed to be there. So yeah, look at him, he's right there.
I think they said something
Did he have
about
visa
his.
issues? Read that one that says, or I'll read that one while you're talking about
Yeah,
it. Those underdogs, and then maybe it'll say something about Boros not being able to make it.
yeah.
I don't see much anymore then for that team. Sorry, I think Boros is a really good player, and I liked that team. So go ahead. I'll try to find it.
Yeah, no, it sucks that Boros isn't on this team for I believe it's Joel. But Red Star and Waro 2K. Waro is one of my favorite players from Mad Lions. He's pretty
No,
good on
the
there.
only player from Headlines.
Exactly. JL was pretty good actually. Um, where did he go? I forgot where he went to. He went to some tier 2 team. But Red Stars from Fiend, Fiend, right? That's the
Hmm.
logo.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's he was on Fiend.
with Horn, which
Yep.
is one of my favorite
Ooh, another
operas.
good player. Yeah.
And this team has a capability to making it out of the group. I think they're the underdog or the upset team that can have a chance, like Mateo thinks in Aurora. I just have a feeling that these guys can put up some numbers and actually compete. The only thing is, Flit is playing out of his mind right now, and outsiders are looking really solid. Um, Norbert and Fame kind of fit this team pretty solid or pretty nicely, and it's just if James can get going or not. In my opinion, he has the capability to, and he does time to time. But I want I want him to be consistent this tournament and drop like 20 frags a game. I know he doesn't
Um.
need to with Flit and Kicker and Norbert and Fame, but
Yeah.
I would like to see him go more a little more aggressive than just his passive style.
Outsiders are my favorite team ever, or not ever, but like in the game right now. So obviously, I'm gonna side with them here. I think that Pro League they looked pretty good. Um, that I think that's a good sign. I was concerned whether or not they would be able to get this team in shape before the major, and Pro League, has me feeling pretty good about them. Monty, I 100% agree. I actually had this team on the radar as well, but I just really valued Boros pretty high. And honestly, I don't know this new player being brought in. So that alone makes me a lot less hopeful for this team. Uh,
Yeah, kind of upsetting because Boros would have made this team 10
yeah,
times better.
I do think Boros is a really good player. Red Star's a really good player, like you said. Waro, one of the only players for Mad Lions. Um, So yeah, this was one of those ragtag teams that I actually thought maybe we see them win a game or two too, as well. But without Boros and going against outsiders in the first round, I don't see much here.
Mm.
I gotta go with outsiders for sure.
Tyler, of course, will go with outsiders with you. He just wants to copy, man. I myself, I think I chose Monty.
Have you posted your thing, or do you just have one on the side that?
I did post mine. Mine was in the. What did I choose here? I did choose outsiders,
Yeah,
but I think
I
it's a
mean,
good
fair enough.
upside game.
Or even like I said about Aurora, I ended up going with Fnatic, but you
Exactly,
watch
yeah.
out for them in the next round or two for sure. I think.
The game of the day. Heroic versus Saw, baby. Saw got some upgrades. Stododo wasn't it, sadly. I like Stododo a lot, but he just wasn't it. The two new guys, believe it's Story and Ujerks,
Yeah.
kind of fit the team really nicely. They've been doing pretty all right. They've beat some good teams in Tier 2 down here.
Mhm.
Um, beat Astralis on Nuke.
Yeah,
And
one of the previous or one of the early ones, right?
yeah,
The early qualifiers.
yeah, exactly. And Heroic are our least favorite team in the game. Cadian, there's so many just mean things I want to say about this guy, but he's he's just he's just not it. You know, he came on the desk the other day for ESL.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was so upset. For it was like the good game too. The only thing is they have Yabi, who's from one of my favorite teams, the Copenhagen Flames. He was like one of the last pieces left out with Zyphon. Zyphon went to Sprout. He went to Heroic for a refresh. So I kind of have respect for them in that way.
Yeah.
Um, Stown is still pretty good. Shish is still pretty good. Tessa's still on fire. So I still think Heroic should be heavily favored here. but I do think Saw have a really good chance to upset this.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, Saw is one of those teams that's been on the brink of tier one, maybe, for like 4 years now, honestly. I think I remember all the way back to like Blast, like 2018, something like that, seeing them play some games there. Um, they've made it to their first like major qualifier last time, and iconically lost to a leg shot to Jame, literally
oh,
in a 2-2
I forgot
match.
about that.
So they were literally pixels away from qualifying for the last major. And I also agree that I think they did get a couple upgrades. I think they did get, unfortunately, a little bit of a rough first matchup. But
Yeah, they
this
did.
team could definitely maybe grind out some best of threes like they did last time and qualify. And I do think they have a decent chance of beating Heroic here as well. That being said, I think this is one of the games where you might have to go probably just with Heroic,
Yeah,
really. The maps that Saw are really good at are a lot of Heroic spans, and so they're probably just gonna have to go to a middle ground at that point. So yeah, I
probably play
probably
him on T side and just
exactly. I think that is one of the biggest benefits that the favorite teams have. I'm 99% sure that the higher seeded teams get
it would make
CT side
sense.
first. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So
Tyler goes with heroic. Mateo, you probably going heroic, and I will also go heroic. Though I want
yeah,
Saw to win,
I do
have a
too.
great
I do
chance.
too. I think they have a great chance too. But just if we're going for straight up predictions and whoever gets the most predictions right, I'm gonna go with Rogue.
All right, this one. And BK returns to get revenge on Mouse,
Yep.
but he has to go through
Wait,
K23
did Tyler
first.
just circle every single thing I circled? Dead ass.
Did he? I'm not
I'm
even
trying.
sure.
I'm going through. Wait, did I put? I think I put Spirit, didn't I?
Did you
Yeah, I
pick
did.
big or single?
I'm pretty sure I put Sangle.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, he actually circled everything I circled. Every single game, he circled everything I circled except for Spirit and one win. All
That's,
the upsets, he put the exact same ones as me.
that's crazy.
Did I put Mouse or OG? I put Mouse. Yeah, what? Like, he just yeah, he put the exact same things as me. All right, sorry. Continue.
K23 lost Norbert Fame.
Yeah,
Kind of big
big,
deal.
big deal. They
Whereas
also lost
Falcons,
Nealon.
yeah, Nealon too. Oh my gosh, I forgot he went to EG.
Yeah, this team got ripped apart.
Yeah, X Power just going to another team to get ripped apart from him. Um, Masuda and NBK just made the Falcons team that much better. They were
Yeah,
already
for
pretty
sure.
good, but this experience that they have can make this team go pretty far, and I can see them going like 3-1 and making a legend spot.
I can too. Um, I think Haji's a pretty good player.
Mm-hmm. Maka's a pretty good opper.
I was gonna say Python's the only one that is like iffy to me. I don't really know too much about him. He hasn't really stood out to me in any way. But I mean, I like if he was Kyojin, bro,
Oh my
this team would be
god,
cracked. Because I really like Kyojin as a player. I think
it'd be so good.
he just had like he he got so much shit for being like 18 and being on like the semifinal stage of a major like two majors ago. Um, he got so much shit for like losing to the team that lost or the team that won the major. Like he did not play well at all against Navi. And so many people were just talking shit to him about like if he were I mean it was a genuine argument because that major that Navi won without losing a map or anything like that or Vitality was the only team that looked like they had a chance and they lost the maps like 16-12 and 16-13 or something like that, with Kyojin going like 4-20 in both of them or
Yeah,
something, you know,
it
like
was
absolutely
rough,
abysmal.
rough.
And if you have a player like RPK, the person that you replaced, there's a good argument because that guy is never going to crack under pressure because he's been through everything before. So even a slow game from him on a stage like that, you could argue that they had a very good chance of beating Navi, like the only team that had a good chance of beating Navi. But he was thrown away literally right after that major, and I think he was a really good player. So I think
This
if he was on
RPK,
this,
Le Temps.
he got replaced by Masuda and MBK. I'm pretty sure Kyojin
Yeah,
was on the roster before that, so it's kind of sad to see him go.
yeah,
But I mean, Masuda deserves to be on like
at least this
a
game.
top French team. I don't know. I can't think of a top
This
French
is the
team because there
minimum
isn't
of
really
it.
one anymore. I
No,
mean,
there's not.
there isn't
This
a
is
French
it.
team anymore. This is the French team. So yeah, he definitely deserves to be on this. He could be on a G2. He could still be on Vitality. Like Masuda is a really good player. I think MBK is gonna have something to prove. I think K23 got ripped apart. I think XGBTY is actually a pretty good player.
Yeah, X5. Yeah,
Yeah, Exit Power, honestly, I never really liked him. Never really
overrated.
thought he was super good. I mean, he was on fours for a long time. Never really thought he was very good there. Stuff like that. So,
I take it back. Heat is also
oh, Heat, yeah, that's true. That's
the
true.
boys,
The
Body and
French boys.
Jax. If
Like
Body and
he
Jax
could be on that
joined,
team.
oof,
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would be nasty.
Body, Jax, Masuda, and BK, and then Kenny S to lead the team.
But I mean, this match is definitely I think a decent match. I know Falcons are a little favored odds wise, but
I think
I
1.5 is still pretty good for them.
yeah, I do too. I probably wouldn't bet on Falcons, honestly, with a 1.5. I
I'd
can
put it
have a
in
rule of not
parlay.
really going below 1.6 or so on favorites. At that point, I don't think it's worth the stress. You're winning so little money
Mhm.
to to anything under a 1.6. Um,
That's fair. Even in parlays,
so
though.
potentially in parlays, yeah, I think it's fine, but I probably wouldn't bet on this game, but I'm definitely gonna circle Falcons for sure.
Yeah, me too. And Tyler also. Leave
Yeah.
agree. NC. Oh wait. Was it NC next? Guess so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
NC. Oh gosh. Like there's actually some good games tomorrow. I thought there wasn't,
There,
but there is.
there's definitely some good ones. I think the next one coming up after this is one of probably going to be the second best game of the day behind Nip
Yeah,
Astralis.
that's true.
I think those are going to be the two really good games to watch. And say a lot about everything. Um,
Sun
but yeah,
Pius and Valde was a good addition. I do like him. It
yeah,
just they lost Spinks. Uh,
yeah. For sure. I think in on paper, Sun Pius for Hades is definitely just a straight up upgrade.
it is absolutely.
Um, but and Valde on paper is a downgrade for Spinks, but
You put
Valde
us.
definitely brings a lot to the team.
Yeah, he's got
Um,
more of that experience.
to me, from what I've seen from Ent so far, and I definitely think this is a thing that can do better with time, or these are the things that should be doing better with time. But he does not look nearly as comfortable as he did in Movie Star. Like that Movie Star roster had the core of it had played together for a long time. So like ever since Sampais replaced Smuya back in like 2020 or whatever, whenever that happened, they had played together for like a good year, if not a little more.
Hmm.
So he looked so much more comfortable in that roster, which is why he was able to do the things he was able to do. And at the moment, he doesn't look nearly as comfortable. So he hasn't honestly at like Hades would probably still be better at this point, but that's the kind of thing that you're hoping it gets better with time with a player of that caliber.
Yeah, it's just
So,
it feels too soon to
which is unfortunate coming into a major,
exactly.
um, because this was one of the big moves from the off season, and it seems like they haven't had quite enough time yet, like some of the other rosters like that some of the other rosters that made big moves in off season, like Vitality and shit like that, they look like they've clicked so far. And unfortunately, this team doesn't look like it has yet, which is just unfortunate because we're already into the major, you know?
What I didn't,
So
what I don't get about the team too is they have what I think in the team you need two star riflers,
mhm,
opper that can at least get it done, if not a star opper,
mhm,
and then a support player and your IGL slash support player.
mhm,
In this team, I see Maiden and Valde as a support player with Snappy as a support player, and I see only Diha and Senpai.
mhm.
I I am I just I need more from Maiden, I guess now
Yeah,
than ever
that's
before.
that's the big question is, out of Maiden and Valde, who's gonna step up really?
Hmm.
I think Valde's capable of doing it. It's just been so long since we've seen him be the one to do it
Exactly.
since like
Yeah, he's always been a
2018
support player.
heroic. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
back in the day with fucking like Freiburg, like 2018 heroic. Like he hasn't been the guy for a long time. And I'm not saying he can't. He's very talented, but it's just, is that what they're going for? Or are they going to let Madden loose? Because Madden definitely has the capabilities of doing it as well. But I think you're right. They may be stuck right now in just like growing pains and not really knowing yet. And I think they're going to get caught up with not really having a designated support cast and star cast and that kind of stuff. That being said, the reason this game is so interesting is because they just played at Pro League and Heat
It's a
was actually able to
rematch.
make it really close. They took a map, the other maps were pretty close as well. And so literally statistically, just odds-wise, um there's no reason to not bet on Heat here. They have like a 2.7 or something like that. And in a best of three, they took a map. So all you have to do is, oh no, they didn't, huh?
They lost to 16-13 and
Oh no, they lost 16-11 and 16-6.
really, they got shit on just two. I thought
Wait,
Vertigo
wasn't
was
Heat
closer.
the only team that ends beat though at Pro League or something like that?
That might have been it.
Yeah, Heat literally got 2-0'd by every other team and then 2-0'd Heat. They got 2-0'd by Cold, 2-0'd by Astralis, 2-0'd by Mouse, and 2-0'd by Heroic. So Heat was the only team that they ended up beating. But I think still, like, this is definitely Heat then showed very good signs against some of the other teams. Um, like they took a map off Heroic, they beat Astralis 2-1, that
Hmm.
kind of stuff. They took a map off Mouse. So even though head to head, Ents is the team that beat Heat, I think that they had a good enough showing in that same group of they're all playing the same group. And Ents got 2-0'd by everybody else, while Heat was able to make all the other best of threes close. So even though Ents beat them in the head to head, they're still honestly in a pretty similar range skill wise at the moment. You know what I mean? Ents probably you would think in about 6 months they will definitely be way rated higher than Heat is most likely. But at the moment, they're pretty evenly matched, I'd say.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of have to favor Heat in this. I,
Yeah,
I think they will. I think they will pull the win.
I also went with Heat, and
Tyler,
so did
no
Tyler.
joke.
Yeah,
Mao's OG.
yeah. This is gonna be like we said, probably um the second best game of the day. I think if you want to watch CS for the love of CS, I think Nipistralis and OG and Maus are the games since there's like six fucking games going on at once or whatever.
No,
I
is there?
think no, it's just two,
I was gonna say
but it's two games at a time.
just
But
hella.
yeah, there's just so many games. Yeah. If you only have time to sit down and watch a game or two, this would probably be one of the ones that I would encourage watching.
Yeah, for sure. OG coming into this looking pretty rough. Honestly, they should have on paper looked a little bit better, but they lost to fours. They won a couple games they should have in tier two, but they lost to Wings
Got
Up,
O2'd by
lost
Wings
to
Up. Yeah.
Entropy, almost lost to Wings Up a second time. Um, they just should be better, and I really don't think Fiku and Neofrag are fitting in as well as they originally thought. I thought this was actually a good two pickups.
I didn't at the time, honestly.
You didn't?
I still don't.
I really thought Neofrag was a good player, and I thought he deserved tier one out of centers. Pico, I thought he had signs of or flashes of greatness, but he wasn't like really good.
Yeah.
Whereas on the other hand, we got Mouse who have three NXT players that actually deserve to be here though.
Hmm.
Um, Dexter, it's his last chance. If he doesn't get it done here, he's out. He should really he frags good enough. Frozen is picking it up quite a
He
bit.
just got signed for 4 years, so Frozen's not going anywhere.
Exactly. Frozen
I mean,
is
he's a
pretty
good
good.
enough player to be on a team like Mao's for a long time.
Yeah.
Like he's a perfect player for this range of competition and stuff like that. And he's one of the ones you hope leads the team for sure.
Torzy and Dexter is going to be a great matchup to watch. If
Hmm.
Torzy can actually perform, then it should be like, oh my god, this these two operas are I don't know, like it's not what's his name, Guardian versus Kenny S, but it's like just below that, I think, where these two operas are going to be the next best thing in Counter Strike, and they have to prove it at the arm. In this case, I'm taking Mao's. I just think they have a better team and look better than OG has it.
Yeah, and for that reason, all the reasons we've said, I'm actually gonna switch to OG. I'm gonna go with
Really?
OG. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Um, I don't know. OG have notoriously not made a major and always been a team that can consistently beat tier one teams. Like they've always been scary, no matter like what their roster moves have been, whether it was Alexi, Nexa, like ever since this team was made with the Alexi, MBK, that roster, that whole
Mm-hmm.
thing. They've always been a team that can notoriously beat uh best or tier one teams, but they have still never made a major as an organization. They almost did back in the RMR stages, the first RMR events when they thought they were going to do that major that other time and ended up not doing it. Um, they did make that one, but that one didn't count obviously because we'd never had a major from it. For some reason, I just feel like OG's going to get done. I also think Mauser going to get it done. I also think Mauser's going to qualify. But I think OG start off with the better record here, and Mouse will be able to not crack under the pressure of being a one and also qualify. I think both of these teams are going to qualify. I think OG is going to take this map though.
I I can't see how Miles lose this, especially with all the pressure on Dexter, unless the pressure gets to him. Um, Tyler takes Mouse, of course. He was gonna go with yours. It's definitely a 50-50 game.
Hmm.
Navi Alumnar.
This
All
is the
right.
last match of the day.
No, we can skip this one to Big
Not
Single.
much. Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah, not much to say about that match really, honestly.
No
Uh,
one. I don't know anyone.
I know Luminaris as a team.
I know him as a team
You don't know
players.
Rietz
I've
or
heard of him.
Toad?
I've heard of both of these guys, but that's it.
It's a Polish team, so some of those players that you can remember playing on tier two teams, maybe with like the likes of like Snappy and shit like that back in the day. That's where I really remember it. Mihu,
Got
like those kinds of
yeah.
like those they were in those kinds of teams with those kinds of guys. Um, but yeah, I mean, realistically,
16-3, I'm calling this game.
Navi's one of the hardest teams to get upset by a low tier team, I think,
Yeah.
because you put them on paper and you have some of the best fraggers in the world. So, I mean, it's even though Navi has been losing a lot recently, even getting 2-0'd by endpoint.
It's the Sundai
Um,
Young difference.
I do think that most likely you got a pretty easy clear cut winner here.
All right,
I
last game of the day.
I don't think Navi are in that top four that I was talking about though, for like teams to win the
I
majors.
don't think so either.
Sometimes just brings the team down so
So
much for me,
bad.
honestly. I'm
Um, Godfaven is gone. We have Keto though for Tizian, so it don't matter. Um, Boozy will lead the team to victory. I just can't see him out opping Searson. I'm sorry, Mateo.
Yeah, that's fair. I do think this is one of the games that I hope isn't an upset. I do like Big a lot actually. But this is one of the ones that I can see happening, honestly.
With the new guy.
For some reason, just with just like Big have just yeah, they've just been in a weird spot
They're
for a
always in a
while.
weird spot, yeah.
Yeah, Big is just always in a weird spot, really.
They're either insane or they're trash.
They go from being ranked top five to being forgotten about for 6 months, and then being ranked top five kind of thing. So they're such an a weird team, really. Um,
The
and
definition
obviously
of
bringing
inconsistent.
bringing in a new player probably isn't going to help that. Um, or maybe it could be what helps them in general. So it's just too much of an unknown quantity to want to bet on them money wise. And for some reason, I still think Big are going to qualify from this group, and I think Sangal are not going to qualify from this group. But I do think that Sangal are going to take this game.
Tyler also agrees somehow they single are gonna take this game.
I'm sure you're going with Big.
I have to. I have
Yeah,
to go with the
I
big
think so
boys.
too. I think so too. Do you want to do the NA ones, or I mean, they're not for another day, but
And hey, nah, we
or
can
you want
save those.
we
It's
can save
already
them for
we've already. One thing I did want to talk
fair enough.
about, if you can, it's top six, right?
No, it's top eight.
Top
For
eight.
EU,
Oh,
EU,
okay.
both of them get top eight.
I'm saying, so we got Navi, Ents. No, Navi, outsiders for sure from both of us.
If you scroll down more, it shows it's probably easier. Yeah,
Navi,
like
outsiders for Vitality for sure. Mouse for sure. And after that, it's a toss up. Heroic probably for sure.
yeah. That's what's so interesting about the Europe ones. I think
But then I think
each group for Europe has like 4 or 5 top teams that you know are going to be for sure, and then like the last 11 or 12 teams you could very easily see any of them qualifying. Whereas the North American one, they only have 6 spots, and you can easily see like 10 of them
and
qualifying.
yeah.
So it's like too many good teams fighting for a couple of spots, whereas Europe is a couple of spots open for any team that wants them, and then the surefire teams.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's different. Um,
So
for
I won't say who's your top eight. I'll give you like who are the top two or three teams you think are gonna push on through
I
that.
mean, obviously, you got to go basically the whole top row, really, for this
Yes,
team.
and then
Honestly,
outsiders.
honestly, after that, it's pretty up in the air. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd say outsiders, for sure. For me as well, I'd say those five are pretty locked in. Um, as much as you want to believe that it's just gonna straight up be OG Big and Ents, I can kind of see them any of those three not qualifying.
yeah. I think
And
it's gonna
leaving
be
open a
Heat,
spot for a team like Heat. Yeah, for a team like
Saw,
Heat, maybe Saw, maybe Falcons. Some
Falcon.
one of those teams can sneak in. If OG Big or Ents do end up underperforming. I think it'd be awesome if Heroic doesn't make it. Personally,
Oh,
that
good.
would be really, cool. But yeah, I don't know. I think they did get one of the best opening matchups too, honestly. So it is kind of hard to see that happening.
Over here, these top three, and then it kind of drops off.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a difference on this one. You only really have 3 or 4 surefire teams. I'd put Astralis up there.
I put
Uh,
Fnatic up there.
um, and then after those 3 or 4 teams, I think the chances are the teams that could be one of those teams that grabs those last couple spots. Definitely E-Fire for me.
One
Um,
win.
I
Well,
I don't put one win there. I put Sprout, Aurora, and Eternal Fire as the teams that can maybe grab one of
those are
those
your
last couple
three.
spots.
Mine are
Yeah,
one win, Sprout, and BNE.
yeah. I can see
Fnatic.
BNE doing it too. Yeah, Fnatic is a team that I have probably just making it out. So
Yeah.
they're not even. I'm not even gonna say they're one of the teams that could fight for a spot. I think that they're honestly one of the teams that should make it out and shouldn't have to worry about that.
Tyler also agrees with us with these five should make it in, and then he
Yeah.
agrees with the two French boys and Ents actually.
Okay.
For this group, the three of course, or the four top four.
He puts Astralis in there. Yeah.
He includes NIP, Fnatic, Sprout, and Aurora. I guess he's high on Aurora with you.
Yeah. Um, like I said when we were talking about the Aurora Fnatic game, um, Aurora isn't even necessarily one of the teams that I think will make it out. I just think that odds wise, there's gonna be a game or two where they get put up against the team, and it's just gonna be hard to not want to bet on them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think that they're a team that can easily go out like 1 or 2, 2 or 2, or I mean 1 and 3, 2 or 3, or something like that. But those games that they do win will probably they'd probably have good odds in them. Um, and I do like the team, so that's why I wouldn't. I'm not good enough on them making it out, honestly. Like I said, I'd rather take E-Fire or Sprout or something like that. But I guess if I had to choose a third one, it would be them probably. Yeah.
All right, that's gonna be it then. Who you got winning the major, or not winning the major? Who's your team going to the Legend 3-0 team? Two of them.
Two, one from each.
Yeah.
One from each. I think from Group A, I'm honestly just gonna put G2.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fair.
Group B, I might honestly maybe put
Vitality.
Mouse.
Mouse. Ooh.
If they do end up beating OG,
Yeah.
I think they might
Get a good draw and
get a
shit.
good. Well, even without a good draw on a 1-0 team, I don't know. I can see them maybe taking down a team like Navi or Vitality in a best of three.
Or heroic.
Yeah, or Heroic exactly. Um, I would love to put Outsiders, obviously, as a Legends team, but they never make it that easy.
No, they'll go
They
2-3
will
or
make it out of
3-2.
this 3-2, and then they will make it out of the Challenger stage 3-2, but they will always do it every time, so you don't have to worry and you don't have to sweat. But that's why they're so entertaining to watch, man. But honestly, yeah, I don't feel like going with a Navi or a Vitality or a Heroic. So and OG, I can easily see them losing a best of one or two, even though I put OG as the team to win against Mouse. Um, if Mouse do end up winning, I think that they're a team good enough to go 3-0. So I guess I'll put Mouse.
Alright, I'll put Vitality and G2 and make it 6. Alright, guys. It's time for bed. We get an hour sleep
Yep,
before the games.
yep. I'll probably wake up at 7 and just watch the Outsiders games since I'm not betting or anything. I just
Alright.
get to kick back and relax.
Alright.
I will say, Alec,
I'll end it.
it